driving. Hope comes and stops us in our tracks. Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Good afternoon. I thought I would try and do not necessarily an easier topic, but maybe one that's not so power driven. I don't know what to say on that. I did start this a little bit early, and I am trying something because my post reach just isn't, and I don't understand how I'm supposed to, So I'm just trying some stuff out, see if I can reach more people. Because I don't know what I don't know, and either way I can work with it. I don't know if people just aren't watching, they're getting the notifications and they don't want to watch, which is fine. Or if they're not getting the notification, in which case I have a problem with that. Because, then I need to, not that I have a problem with it, but then I need to figure out how to work with it. So, or maybe my content just sucks. I did tag everyone on this. You're allowed to do that once a day in a group. So I figure I'd give it a try. See what happens. But I'm just leaving this natural. I'm not going to let anybody know I'm live or anything. So I may not get anybody. And that's okay. Because we got the rewatchers. Man, we're getting ready to do some really cool stuff, man. I'm pretty excited. Of course, what I think and what I imagine may not be what happens, but yeah. So I did put something, and maybe that's what I should have tagged everybody in that post instead. Yeah, that would have been better. All right, we're kind of at the 3-minute mark, even though I did start 2 minutes early. We're going to talk about the step before the steps. I'm not going to spend a bunch of time on this. Well, yeah, I say that now, but hey, Mr. Stark, it's always good to have a Stark in. Hey, Sam, it's good to have you. Good to see you. I'm just getting ready to get started. So, and then there's the other problem that I have is the counter here doesn't like to cooperate. Like, I know Sam is on from YouTube because it tells me he's got a little symbol, but over here, oh, now it shows it. So I guess I just need to be a little patient. So let's go ahead and get started. Welcome, Sam. It's good to have you here. Welcome to the Daily Trudge. Yeah, this one won't be too long. So yeah, perfect. If you're, please say hello, like Sam did. You don't have to though. And if you feel like this video could help other people, please share it. That would be dandy. Dandy, dandy. So the step before the steps. This is what we call the psychic change. And the psychic change is the step before the step. There's different, we all kind of have, I don't know if it's a different view, but for me, my psychic change did not come with a spiritual experience. And most psychic changes that I've seen have not. Okay. So what is the psychic change? Let's go to the doctor's opinion. And he's going to explain something to us here. Well, you know what? Let's put it this way. There's 2 different types of addiction. Okay. Hey, Gary, good to see you, brother. There's 2 types of addiction. There's the physical addiction and there's the mental addiction. Okay. Marijuana is not physically addictive, but it is very much mentally addictive. Um, you will get, because of the mental, you will get some physical things when you decide to stop. If, when people, it's what I went through, is I would be irritable because I wasn't getting what I wanted, things like that. And I had to wait, you know, because the mental quite oftentimes can take longer than the physical. Okay. So now let's get to the psychic change in here. And what he says is that alcoholics drink essentially because we like the effect produced by alcohol, or we like the effect produced. And I'll tell you what's going on is you're giving yourself dopamine. That's what's happening. No matter what your addiction is, you're giving yourself dopamine. Okay. Yes, through the alcohol, drugs, and maybe some of the other things. So, but on here, it says men and women drink because they like the effect produced by alcohol. The sensation is so elusive, while they admit it is injurious, they cannot, after a time, differentiate the true from the false. And that's where that obsession comes in. And we start living a life that just isn't real. Right? They are restless. Okay. They cannot, after a time, differentiate the true from the false. To them, their alcoholic life seems the only normal one. Okay. And it may even seem even more that way because of your parents. My mom was an alcoholic. Fortunately, she got sober right before I became a teenager, and I became aware that I was alcoholic at that point. When I was 14 and being told I was an alcoholic, I was pissed. But I'm 52 now. Okay, you gotta grow up at some point. So we are restless, irritable, and discontented until we can find the ease and the comfort which comes at once by taking a few drinks, or a bag of Oreos, or one-armed bandits. Okay, whatever our ism is. Okay? And then what happens is we succumb to a desire to drink or do our ism again. And once that happens, we are setting ourselves up for the next debacle. Okay. A lot of times we will even quit drinking and say, with a firm resolution, saying, I'm not going to drink again, only to turn around and do it again. Right. Yeah. Self seeking behaviors. Exactly. Thank you, Sam. And there's going to come a time when you're going to turn around, and at least this is what happened for me, because somebody planted the seed in me, and I looked around and I'm like, my behavior is no longer acceptable to me. This cannot go on. Okay. What happened with me was I looked at my wife and I could see, and being an empath and being very close to my wife, I could not only see the pain in her eyes, but I could feel the overwhelm. I could feel the overwhelmingness, and I knew she was getting ready to leave. I have so much respect for my wife that I couldn't let that slide. No, she worked very, very hard to be in my life and get back in my life, and we've done a lot of work, and I wasn't willing to end that. Okay. I wasn't willing to lose my kids. No, I had enough. What was that? The psychic change. Your gift of desperation is your psychic change. It just means you don't want to live this life anymore. Literally. And you know what I mean. When I got here, I don't know about you, but I was so disgusted with myself that I didn't think I deserved to be alive. Right? So that psychic change there again is about getting sober, right? And there's sobriety and there's recovery. We do recovery for ourselves. You are going to have to do that. But getting sober or deciding to change your behavior can be for any reason at all. Okay. So please don't limit yourself. Don't limit other people on their reasons to stop their old behavior. Even if it seems small to you, it's big to them. So instead of telling them, no, you got to get sober for yourself, which is not true, instead support them in that. I got sober for my wife and kids. I did the program for myself so I could be a better father, so I could be a better husband. Now that I've taken that time and they were very patient and tolerant, now it's my turn to give back to them. It is my job to make sure that their day goes easier because I am in it. Okay? And that's what happens. So let's not make too hard terms on that psychic change. In fact, there should be no terms on it. Okay? Because we don't want people to get to a place where they're jumping in the car and they get a DUI and then we have to go talk to them about, hey, you could have killed somebody's daughter. See, our lives when we come in don't seem to matter much to us. But when we start pointing out how it is affecting the people that they love, their intentions will change. And when our intentions change, so do you. It's automatic. Okay. Once that psychic change happens, we can move right into that first step. It's almost like it's supposed to happen that way. So we come in with the gift of desperation. We walk into the rooms. We're lonely. We're angry. We're shameful. We have so many problems. Yeah, that's exactly it, Sam. I like you. Please come back. Or at the very least, well, you've already subscribed to there. So Trudging Together is going to start including everybody, just so you know. We're just going to be online. It's going to be beautiful. Anyway, so it's really easy to go from that gift of desperation into a healthy, into that step one. Okay. So what happens? Then we go to a meeting. We raise our hands because I'm new. My name's Dion. I'm an alcoholic. Maybe I've said this for the first time and I didn't want to say it, but I said it anyway because I knew I had to have some amount of humility because I also didn't want to look like the odd duck in the room. Okay. Nobody else can pronounce you an alcoholic. Only you can do that, right? It isn't until that alcoholic or drug addict or any other person going through a problem until there's realization, there can't be any change. So now the realization is happening. When I talk with a newcomer, I ask them certain questions. First question is, are you married? And I'll tell you what I'm doing. Oh yeah, I'm married. No. So you got kids? Yeah, we've got a kid. I'm going to use that. Yeah, you bet. I am going to utilize those people to keep that man sober. That's what I went through. And I'm going to give him permission to do it too. And I'll tell you what, it works great. I get when you give permission to people to say, especially if you're their sponsor, because they're going to go to meetings and they're going to hear things like, you got to do sobriety for yourself. Well, that person's not in recovery. I'm telling you, they're probably two-stepping because they didn't really make the connection that needed to be made. So when you tell your sponsee and you give them permission to get sober for what other people is a trivial reason, you are validating their feelings because they're true. They're right. They should feel shameful. They should feel guilty. Which is why the first time I talk with my sponsees, the very first thing we start working on is the living amends. It works beautifully. And I'll tell you why. Hey, you know what? Your wife has been taking care of you for years, man. Have they not? Yeah. Well, here's the thing. I don't want you going in there and apologizing because you're just going to say sorry and nobody wants to hear it anymore. Okay. And when you explain to an alcoholic or somebody going through this that the only true amends is change behavior. It's the only amend. How we get there is going to differ for each person because we've now become a person who can meet other people where they're at because we have the courage from God, right? Yes. So we can do those things. Okay. So what I do is this. You're going to become a better person every day. How are you going to do that? Because you got to give them direction. You can go to a meeting every day. You're going to get a sponsor, which you already did. Good job. You're part of the way there. See, I'm reinforcing. All right. Sam, reach out to me and I'll have you on the podcast. How about that? Yeah. Here, I'll put my phone number in chat. Feel free to send me a text message. We'll put you on the show. You can come tell your story. Yeah, I already like what you're saying. I'm real good at this, so I'm empathic. I can already tell that Sam's the type of guy that's willing to talk about his feelings because you know what? He's still here. It's not easy to listen to me, not all the time. Because so anyway, so once we have that guy, so what we're going to do is instead of going in and apologizing, saying, "Hey, look what I can do," okay? You can do the dishes. You can clean the kitchen. You can clean the living room. You're going to do all the chores that you have not been doing. This is what my sponsor did with me. You're going to do all those chores that you haven't been doing. And my sponsor told me, your job is to go in there and make sure that your wife's life is easier today. And if you run out of things to do, it's very simple. You're going to go up to your wife. You're going to say, "Honey, is there anything I can help you with?" Right? That's change behavior. Yeah, you can help me with this, this, and this. What have we done? We've made this alcoholic accountable. We have ruined their drinking career because they're going to get a little taste of that and how good it felt. Okay. The other thing is this: they are not to go to their wife. And I had a hard time at this. Okay. My sponsor didn't go that extra step, but God, he was a smart man. Okay. Don't go tell him you did it and ask and be looking for an attaboy. You don't get an attaboy for cleaning the kitchen. You don't get an attaboy for taking out the garbage. Those are reasonable expectations. So don't make the mistake of going back to your wife and saying, "Do you see how clean the kitchen was? I still do it." What am I looking for? I'm looking for attention. I'm looking for affirmation, right? Spitting fire. That's what we call it. Thank you. I haven't heard that in so long. So, all right. I said this was going to be a shorter one, so I'm going to do that. Otherwise, I will get into other topics and stuff. But I'm going to go 3:00 meeting. It'll be fun. I don't know. Weird things have been happening. All right. Weird good. So, but yeah, Sam, whenever I'm never in any rush. Just send me a text when you have a few minutes. It is pre-recorded. You can do it from home, all the good stuff. So thank you everybody for being here. I love you. Peace out. And